policy. You can just create that policy, assign it to one or multiple users, and of course you can also use something like PowerShell to basically create the definition of the policies and also to assign them directly from the command line. So the settings that I have available in those meeting settings, basically the ones that are available on that admin center, and some of those, keep in mind, also available to that organizer. Basically have control if either participants can join anonymously. In this case, they don't need to authenticate. By default, actually, this is on. Some scenarios, you may want to put this as off, so that way people will need to authenticate somehow in order to participate into the meeting. Also, you can customize those email invitations that will be sent to people that will participate in the meeting. So basically, you can customize the logo, if there's a discharge or legal note that you would like to add, if there's a help URL, and specific footer that you can add into that invitation that is sent over email. And the last piece, also have control over some network settings. A couple of things related to QoS are also available into that meeting settings as well as part of that definition. So we have meetings. That's basically what I've talked so far. But in some cases, what happens, you actually would like to broadcast content. So we like to broadcast video live. We have also another service for that available in Teams. So the ones I talked about before are the meetings, and we have something that is now known as live events. So the live events is more for those scenarios who would like to broadcast video to multiple audiences. So it could be like 10,000 attendees that will need to connect live to an event. Maybe will be a couple of hours, and after that, once the event is done, they no longer will be able to participate. In this case, keep in mind you have also different roles there. You have roles like presenter, producer, attendees, and other that therefore will limit the kind of actions that will be allowed during that live event. Usually that live event will be also scheduled for a specific period of time, and after that, once that live event is over, basically you can no longer join and participate into the event. We have also that as well available in Microsoft Teams, and actually that's what we use behind the scenes at Microsoft for kind of those major events like Ready, Inspire, and in some cases, most of those live events actually behind the scenes will use actually those live events for that. So keep in mind, behind the scenes, if those are participants that will be located worldwide, we use something like CDN, Content Delivery Network, in this case to offer and provide a good, rich end user experience. So definitely guarantee a good experience in terms of the users as they're connecting into that live event. Use definitely that CDN behind the scenes, and on the settings that you have available for those live events, you can also choose the distribution network that you would like to use for that CDN content. So in this case, keep in mind live events, usually just the presenter will be in this case showing the video. Usually attendees will be just participate over the chat and will be able in this case just to listen but not to talk. So definitely that's kind of the difference that we have on those live events. So you can create both from that Teams interface, and this has also some license requirements. Also please be aware of that. So to manage the policies, you can also create policies in this case to control the behavior for those live events. Just need to go to live event policies, and from there you can enable, disable. You can also allow scheduling all those live events. You can enable, disable transcription. You can also define who should be able to join those live events, everyone or only people from your tenant. And also keep in mind, usually you will record those live events, and after that, people that maybe were not able to participate in the meeting will be able to check the content on a later time. So you can also define who should be able to record that live event. Those can be modified as all those different settings from the Teams Admin Center or from the command line using PowerShell. So those are the settings in more detail. Remember, you can choose that distribution provider for the CDN content. So you can choose between a couple of 3 different providers. Definitely in this case, if you're choosing to use a different third-party provider, you will definitely need to provide that license key, that URL to connect to that distribution point. Otherwise, definitely will use that Azure CDN